Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins All World, where we dive into the hidden treasures of the numismatic world. Today, we're going to talk about something truly special, the United States 1-cent coin from 1975. You might think, it's just a penny, what's the big deal? Well, let me tell you, this penny is anything but ordinary. In fact, depending on its condition and rarity, this humble coin could be worth thousands of dollars. So, if you're a coin collector or just someone who likes finding hidden treasures, stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this little cent could be worth more than you ever imagined. Now, let's break it down and find out just why this 1975 1-cent coin has caused such a stir in the coin collecting world. The 1975 1-cent coin, or more commonly known as the penny, was minted during a pivotal time in U.S. history. The United States was experiencing significant political and economic changes, with the Vietnam War winding down, the Watergate scandal still fresh in the minds of the public, and a country trying to come to grips with inflation. The minting of the 1975 penny may not have seemed significant at the time, but looking back, it turned out to be a coin worth investigating. The 1-cent coin has been in circulation for over 100 years, with designs evolving over time. The design you'll find on the 1975 penny is based on the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner in 1909. On the obverse side, you'll see President Lincoln's profile, while the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of the unity and strength of the United States. But here's where it gets interesting: the 1975 penny isn't just another common coin. There's something special about certain 1975 1-cent coins that collectors have been desperately searching for. When it comes to coins, especially those minted in large quantities, it's important to understand that not all coins are created equal. Mint marks play a crucial role in determining the rarity and value of a coin. A mint mark indicates where the coin was produced, and some years, certain mints produced fewer coins, making them rarer and more desirable to collectors. For the 1975 1-cent coin, there are a few different mint marks to look for. Philadelphia. No mint mark. These coins were produced at the Philadelphia Mint and are the most common. While still part of the 1975 penny family, these coins tend to be much more plentiful in circulation, which means they are generally worth only the face value of 1 cent, unless you find one in outstanding condition, like a proof coin or a mint set coin. Denver. D mint mark. These coins were struck at the Denver Mint, and although they are still fairly common, they may have a slightly higher value than their Philadelphia counterparts, especially if they are in great condition. San Francisco. S. mint mark. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If you're lucky enough to find a 1975 penny with the San Francisco S. mint mark, you could be holding something incredibly rare. The S mint mark was used on coins struck for proof sets, which are specially made coins intended for collectors, not general circulation. These proof coins are highly polished and were typically sold in sets to numismatists. While the 1975 1-cent coin is not an inherently rare coin, certain features can drastically affect its value. When you combine the mint mark, the coin's condition, and any potential errors or variations, you start to get a much clearer picture of why some of these coins are highly sought after. The condition of a coin is key to its value. Coins are graded on a scale from good, G, to perfect, PR 70. A well-circulated 1975 penny might only fetch its face value, but a mint condition example, especially a proof coin, can see its value increase dramatically. So, if you have a 1975 penny that's been kept in pristine condition, you could be in for a nice surprise. But what really drives the value of the 1975 1-cent coin up is the possibility of finding rare error coins. Minting errors, such as misstrikes, double dies, or off-center punches, make these coins incredibly valuable to collectors. For example, if you happen to have a 1975 penny with a double die obverse, where Lincoln's image is struck more than once, you could be holding on to a rare and valuable piece. One of the most famous and valuable 1975 1-cent coins is the 1975 double die obverse penny. This error occurs when the coin is struck more than once, resulting in a doubled image on the obverse side. Most noticeable on the date and the wording, the double die error gives the coin a distinctive look and is highly sought after by collectors. If you have a 1975 double die penny, especially in good condition, you could be looking at a coin worth much more than you'd expect, sometimes even thousands of dollars, depending on the condition. So, what's the 1975 1-cent coin really worth? If you have a standard 1975 penny in average condition, its value is really only around 1 cent. After all, it was designed to be used as currency. But if you have one of those rarer, pristine, or error-struck coins, the value can skyrocket. For example, a 1975 double die obverse penny can easily fetch anywhere from several hundred to thousands of dollars depending on the quality and condition of the coin. But here's the real kicker: if you happen to have a perfect specimen of the 1975 1-cent coin with an extremely rare error, it could be worth a staggering $28,000. $28,000. Yes, you heard that right, $28,000. So, next time you're going through your coin jar or sifting through some old pennies, remember that your 1975 1-cent coin could be worth more than you think, especially if you've got one of those rare error coins or a mint condition piece. Whether it's the double die obverse, a proof coin, or a simply well-preserved example, you could be holding onto a small treasure that could make you a nice profit. Today's video, we're focusing on a seemingly ordinary coin, but with the right set of circumstances, this little penny could be worth a whole lot more than you might expect. I'm talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1981, often overlooked but possibly hiding a small fortune. That's right, a humble penny from 1981 could be worth thousands of dollars, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why. So grab your magnifying glass, take a look at your coin collection, and let's dive into the fascinating world of the 1981 1-cent coin, its history, its unique features, and most importantly, what makes some of these pennies worth up to $32,000. Stay tuned, because you won't want to miss this. Before we get into the specifics of the coin's value, let's take a step back and talk a little about the context in which the 1981 1-cent coin was minted. By 1981, the United States was in the midst of a lot of economic change. The country was coming off the back of a tough recession in the early 1980s, and inflation was still a major issue. President Ronald Reagan had just taken office, and the country was experiencing major shifts in policy and direction. During this period, the U.S. Mint was still producing billions of pennies every year to keep up with demand, but there was something different about the 1981 penny. While most pennies produced in this era were not especially rare, certain 1981 1-cent coins would go on to become highly desirable collectibles. But to understand why, we need to look more closely at the minting process, the design, and the special features that make some of these pennies so valuable. If you've ever taken a good look at a penny, you're familiar with its iconic design. On the obverse side, you'll find a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Designed by artist Victor David Brenner, this image has been featured on the 1-cent coin since 1909, and it continues to be one of the most recognizable and enduring symbols of U.S. currency. On the reverse side, you'll typically see the Lincoln Memorial, another familiar symbol of American history and culture. This design has been a fixture of the 1-cent coin for decades, though it was eventually replaced with a new reverse design in 2009 to commemorate Lincoln's 200th birthday. For our purposes today, we'll focus on the 1981 version with the classic Lincoln Memorial design. Now, the real question is, what makes the 1981 penny so intriguing to collectors? After all, millions of these coins were produced. The key to their value lies in the mint mark, the coin's condition, and the presence of any rare error varieties. When it comes to coins, particularly those from the U.S. Mint, the mint mark plays a crucial role in determining the rarity of the coin. Mint marks are small letters stamped on the coin to indicate where it was produced, and for the 1981 penny, there are two main varieties to be aware of: Philadelphia, no mint mark. The most common version of the 1981 penny is the one minted in Philadelphia. These coins were produced in large quantities and are not particularly rare. Unless you have one in excellent condition, like MS-67 or better, they're typically only worth their face value of 1 cent. Denver D mint mark. The second variety of the 1981 penny was minted at the Denver Mint, where millions of pennies were struck. Again, unless the coin is in pristine condition or exhibits some rare error, these are fairly common and usually worth little more than face value. But now, here's where it gets really interesting. The San Francisco Mint San Francisco S Mint Mark. The 1981 S Mint Mark penny is a special coin that wasn't released into general circulation. These pennies were part of a proof set issued by the U.S. Mint, and they were intended specifically for collectors. Proof coins are specially produced with a highly polished finish, making them stand out from regular circulating coins. They are often struck multiple times to create a mirror-like surface that makes the details pop. This is one of the key reasons why some of these 1981 pennies are more valuable. They were intended to be sold to collectors, not used in everyday transactions, but there's even more to it. Some 1981 pennies have been identified as being part of a very rare error series that significantly increases their value. As with many coins, errors can make a seemingly common penny worth a small fortune. The 1981 1-cent coin is no exception. There are a few minting errors and variations that are highly sought after by collectors. Double die obverse. This error occurs when the coin is struck more than once, resulting in a double image on the obverse side. In the case of the 1981 penny, collectors are particularly looking for doubled images on Lincoln's portrait or the date. These errors can be very subtle, but if you know what to look for, you could stumble across a valuable piece. Off-center strikes. Another minting error occurs when the coin isn't properly aligned during the striking process, causing the design to be struck off-center. Off-center pennies, particularly those from 1981, are rare and often command higher prices among collectors. Lamination errors. A lamination error happens when there are imperfections in the surface of the coin. These defects can give the coin a unique, worn-out look, which actually makes it more valuable to collectors who are looking for unusual pieces. So, let's get to the million-dollar question. What's the value of a 1981 1-cent coin? As with any coin, the value depends heavily on the coin's condition and rarity. Common 1981 pennies, especially those with the Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, or Denver, D, Mint marks, are generally worth only face value unless they're in perfect condition or have some kind of special feature or error. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are much more valuable, especially in uncirculated or mint condition. These coins can easily be worth anywhere from $5 to $20 depending on their condition and whether they are part of a complete proof set. But the real stars are the rare error coins, the double die obverse or off-center strikes from 1981. A well-preserved error coin can go for a couple $100s. But here's the big surprise. If you've managed to find one of these coins in pristine condition or one that has a particularly rare error, you could be sitting on a coin worth up to an impressive $32,000. There you have it. The 1981 1-cent coin may seem like just another penny, but if you've got the right mint mark, the right condition, or even a rare minting error, you could be holding onto a true treasure. So, next time you're digging through your change or sifting through old pennies, make sure to keep an eye out for those rare San Francisco Mint marks, and check for any double die errors or other minting mishaps. Today, we're shining a spotlight on a coin that's often overlooked but could be worth far more than you think. I'm talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1961. It might just look like an ordinary penny, but believe it or not, this small coin could be hiding a potential fortune. You may be wondering, how can a simple penny from 1961 possibly be worth thousands of dollars? Well, stick around until the end of the video, because I'm going to show you why this coin is so special, what features make it valuable, and just how much it could be worth if you have the right one in your collection. So, let's get started with the 1961 1-cent coin, and by the end, you'll be amazed at how much this little penny could bring you. To truly understand what makes the 1961 penny so valuable, let's first take a step back in time. The year 1961 was a significant one in U.S. history. John F. Kennedy had just been inaugurated as the 35th President of the United States, and the country was on the brink of major social and political changes. The economy was flourishing, but the Cold War tensions were rising. Despite all of this, the U.S. Mint was busy producing billions of pennies to help facilitate everyday transactions across the nation. In 1961, the 1-cent coin was still carrying the same design that had been in place since 1909. featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, back. These coins were struck at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, so there were a lot of them produced that year. But despite the sheer quantity, there are some very specific 1961 pennies that are worth significantly more than their face value, and today, we're going to explore how you can tell if you have one of those rare finds. The 1961 penny is part of a series of coins featuring the image of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the obverse, you'll find a detailed portrait of Lincoln, with the inscription, Liberty, and the year of mintage, 1961, along with the motto, **** in God we trust. This design, which has been used for over a century, remains one of the most iconic images on U.S. currency. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, which had been the reverse design of the penny since 1959. The memorial represents Lincoln's legacy and the unity of the United States. The words, United States of America, and E pluribus unum, surround the memorial, with the denomination, 1 cent, clearly displayed. So, while the 1961 penny might not look all that different from other pennies in your collection, there are some key features and specific coins from that year that have become highly sought after by collectors. The value of the 1961 penny can vary widely depending on its condition, mint mark, and whether it has any rare features or errors. Let's dive into that now. When it comes to U.S. coins, mint marks are crucial in determining the rarity and potential value of the coin. A mint mark is a small letter stamped on the coin to indicate where it was produced, and certain mints produced more coins than others. For the 1961 1-cent coin, there are two main mint marks to look for: Philadelphia, no mint mark. The majority of 1961 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why they are the most common version of the coin. These coins can be found in circulation quite easily, and unless the coin is in outstanding condition, it is typically worth only its face value. However, high-grade specimens or those with rare minting errors can still fetch a higher price. Denver D mint mark. The second most common mint mark you'll find on the 1961 penny is the Denver D mint mark. The Denver Mint produced millions of these pennies in 1961, so they are also relatively easy to find. As with the Philadelphia version, the 1961 D penny is generally worth only face value unless it is in excellent condition or has some other distinguishing feature. But here's where things get interesting. There's another key factor that can dramatically increase the value of certain 1961 pennies: special proof coins. San Francisco Mint. While the majority of the 1961 pennies were produced for circulation, the San Francisco Mint also struck a small number of proof coins. These coins were part of special proof sets produced for collectors. Proof coins are made with a much higher level of craftsmanship compared to regular circulating coins, and they're polished to a mirror-like finish. Because they were produced in limited numbers and intended for collectors, these proof coins are far rarer and more valuable than regular pennies. So, while most 1961 pennies won't fetch much more than their face value, a proof coin from the San Francisco Mint in perfect condition can be worth much more, sometimes several times its original price point. One of the most exciting things about coin collecting is the potential for finding error coins. These coins are typically the result of mistakes made during the minting process, and they can be incredibly valuable. In fact, minting errors are one of the main reasons some 1961 pennies are worth far more than others. Here are a few of the errors that can make a 1961 penny significantly more valuable. Double die errors. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck more than once, resulting in a double image of the design. On a 1961 penny, this could mean a doubled image of Lincoln's portrait or the date. Double die errors are rare, and if you happen to find one, it could increase the value of your penny dramatically. Off-center strikes. An off-center strike happens when the coin is not properly aligned when it's struck, causing the design to be shifted to one side. An off-center 1961 penny can be a fascinating find, and it can fetch a much higher price than a standard coin. Lamination errors. A lamination error occurs when there is a defect in the metal during the striking process, causing pieces of the coin's surface to peel off. These errors are more common in older coins and are often prized by collectors looking for unusual pieces. If you have a 1961 penny with any of these rare minting errors, it could be worth significantly more than a typical circulating coin. Now, here's the big question. What is the value of the 1961 penny? Standard 1961 pennies in good condition, especially those with a Philadelphia No mint mark or Denver D mint mark, are generally worth their face value, 1 cent. However, if they are in exceptional condition, graded MS65 or higher, they can fetch a little more, usually $1 to $3. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are much rarer, and if they're in excellent condition, they can be worth $10 to $30 depending on their grade and whether they are part of a complete proof set. Error coins are where things really get interesting. If you find a 1961 penny with a double die error, off-center strike, or lamination error, the value of the coin can increase significantly. These error coins can range in value from $50 to several $100s depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. And now, here's the jaw-dropping part. If you have a well-preserved 1961 penny with a rare error or perhaps a proof coin in pristine condition, it could be worth $35,000, so, there you have it. That little 1961 penny that's been sitting in your collection might be worth far more than you think. Whether you've got a rare proof coin, a coin with a minting error, or simply a well-preserved 1961 penny, there's potential for it to fetch a very high price. Next time you're looking through your pennies, remember to keep an eye out for those special 1961 coins. You could be holding onto a treasure that's worth a lot more than face value. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that could be sitting in your pocket or your coin jar right now, an American 1-cent coin from 1978. At first glance, this might seem like just another penny, but the truth is, there's a lot more to this little coin than meets the eye. You see, some pennies are far rarer than you think, and if you've got the right 1978 penny in your collection, it could be worth far more than just 1 cent. Stick around, because in this video, I'm going to explain exactly what makes this penny so special, how to identify valuable versions, and, most importantly, how much this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth today. So, grab your magnifying glass, get ready to inspect your change, and let's uncover the hidden value of the 1978 1-cent coin. You won't want to miss this. Before we jump into the specifics of the 1978 penny, let's take a quick look back in time to the year it was minted. The 1970s were an exciting and tumultuous period for the United States. The country was navigating through the aftermath of the Vietnam War, dealing with the energy crisis, and experiencing major social changes. Economically, inflation was a big issue, and the U.S. government was working hard to maintain stability. In terms of coinage, 1978 was a relatively typical year for the U.S. Mint. The 1-cent coin, more commonly known as the penny, still featured the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse side of the coin depicted the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been in place since 1959. Millions of 1978 pennies were produced, and like most coins, they were circulated widely throughout the country. However, while many of these coins might not be worth more than a couple of cents today, there are specific versions of the 1978 penny that could be worth a small fortune. Let's take a closer look at the design of the 1978 penny. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The portrait is surrounded by the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year of mintage, 1978. This classic design has been a staple of U.S. coins since 1909, and it remains one of the most recognizable images in coinage history. On the reverse of the coin, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, which has been the reverse design of the penny since 1959. The Lincoln Memorial symbolizes President Lincoln's legacy and the unity of the United States. The reverse also includes the words, United States of America, and the phrase, E pluribus unum, along with the coin's denomination, 1 cent. While the 1978 penny shares a classic design with many other pennies, there are key factors that can influence its value, and some of these factors can make a huge difference when it comes to how much your coin is worth. The mint mark, the coin's condition, and any potential errors or varieties play a significant role in determining the coin's value. Now, when it comes to coin collecting, the mint mark is one of the most important features to pay attention to. The mint mark tells you where the coin was struck, and it can significantly impact its rarity and value. The 1978 penny comes with two primary mint marks: Philadelphia, no mint mark. The majority of the 1978 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint and therefore do not have a mint mark. These are the most common version of the coin, and unless they are in extremely good condition, they are generally worth their face value, or just a little more if they've been well preserved. Denver, D mint mark. A significant number of 1978 pennies were also struck at the Denver Mint, and you'll find these pennies marked with a D mint mark. Like the Philadelphia version, the 1978 D penny is not rare in and of itself, but if you find one in exceptional condition, it may be worth more than face value. But here's where things get interesting: there are certain rarities and errors that make some 1978 pennies incredibly valuable. If you happen to find one of these rare versions, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Proof coins, S mint mark. The San Francisco Mint produced proof coins for collectors in 1978. These coins were not intended for circulation and were made with a special, high-quality process that gives them a mirror-like finish. If you come across a 1978 penny with an S mint mark, it could be a proof coin, and that makes it much more valuable than a regular penny. The real excitement comes when we talk about error coins. These are coins that were minted with mistakes, and depending on the type of error, they can be worth a lot more than regular coins. If you're lucky enough to find a 1978 penny with an error, it could dramatically increase its value. Here are a few of the most valuable errors to look out for. Double die error. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck twice, causing parts of the design to be doubled. This could happen with the date, liberty, or other parts of the coin's design. If you find a 1978 penny with a double die error, especially one on the date or Lincoln's portrait, it can be worth a small fortune. Off-center strikes. An off-center strike happens when the coin is not properly aligned when it's struck, causing the design to be shifted to one side. If you find a 1978 penny with an off-center strike, it can be an exciting and valuable discovery. Lamination errors. Lamination errors happen when there is a defect in the surface of the coin, often caused by an imperfection in the metal. If you find a 1978 penny with a lamination error, it's considered a rare find that could make the coin much more valuable. If you have a 1978 penny with one of these minting errors, it could potentially be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the severity and condition of the error. So, let's get down to the big question: how much is your 1978 penny worth? Regular 1978 pennies in circulated condition are generally worth only 1 cent or slightly more if they are in uncirculated condition. For example, a mint state 1978 penny might fetch between $1 and $3. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, S mint mark, in excellent condition, can be worth $10 to $20 or more, depending on their grade. Error coins, such as double die, off-center strikes, and lamination errors, can significantly increase the value of the coin. Depending on the severity of the error, a 1978 penny with a double die or off-center strike could be worth anywhere from $100 to several $1,000s. And now, the moment you've been waiting for: if you have a rare 1978 penny, perhaps a proof coin in perfect condition or an error coin with significant value, you could be holding onto a coin worth an impressive $38,000. So, there you have it. The 1978 1-cent coin may look like just another penny at first, but if you dig deeper, you might discover that it's a hidden treasure worth far more than its face value. Whether it's a rare proof coin from the San Francisco Mint, an error coin, or a well-preserved gem, your 1978 penny could be worth a small fortune. Next time you're going through your coin jar or flipping through your collection, make sure to keep an eye out for any 1978 pennies. Who knows, you might have a coin worth $38,000 waiting for you. Today, we're diving into a little-known gem that could be hiding in your coin jar or even in your pocket right now: the United States 1-cent coin from 1985. At first glance, this may seem like just another penny, but trust me, it's anything but ordinary. you won't believe how valuable this penny can be, especially if you've got the right mint mark, the right condition, or even a rare minting error. Today, we'll break down everything you need to know about the 1985 1-cent coin, how to spot a rare version, and most importantly, how much it could be worth today. And yes, if you've got a rare one, it could be worth far more than you think. So, let's dive into the fascinating world of the 1985 penny and uncover just how much this little coin could be worth. Stick around, because you won't want to miss the big reveal at the end. Before we talk about the value of the 1985 penny, let's first set the stage. The mid-1980s were a transformative time for the United States. The 1980s marked a period of economic recovery after the recession of the early part of the decade, and there was a sense of optimism in the air. The country was witnessing technological growth, a booming stock market, and a surge in popular culture. From big-screen movies to the rise of new music genres, coinage in 1985 was still being produced under the same design that had been in place for over 70 years. The 1-cent coin, or penny, continued to feature Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, front, side and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, back, a design that had first appeared in 1909 and had become an iconic symbol of American currency. However, while millions of these 1985 pennies were made, only a handful of them would go on to become valuable to collectors. The key to the value of the 1985 penny lies in its rarity, condition, mint mark, and any potential errors. So, let's take a closer look at what makes this coin so special. The design of the 1985 penny is straightforward but timeless. On the obverse, front, side, you'll find the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. His face is surrounded by the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year of mintage, 1985. The portrait was designed by Victor David Brenner, and it's one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. On the reverse, back, side of the coin, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, a design that has been featured on the penny since 1959. This iconic structure symbolizes President Lincoln's legacy and the unity of the United States. The reverse also includes the words United States of America and De Pluribus Unum, along with the coin's denomination, 1 cent. Now, the 1985 penny may look like many other pennies in your collection, but certain details can make it significantly more valuable than you might imagine. Specifically, the mint mark, condition, and the possibility of minting errors can all have a big impact on the value of your coin. When it comes to determining the value of a coin, mint marks are crucial. The mint mark on a coin indicates where it was produced, and depending on which mint struck the coin, it can be more or less rare. For the 1985 1-cent coin, there are two primary mint marks to look for: Philadelphia, no mint mark. The majority of 1985 pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, so if your 1985 penny has no mint mark, it was likely struck in Philadelphia. These coins were made in large numbers, which means they are more common and generally worth only 1 cent or slightly more if they're in uncirculated condition. Denver, D mint mark. The Denver Mint also produced a significant number of 1985 pennies, and these coins are marked with a D mint mark. Like the Philadelphia version, the 1985 D penny is fairly common and doesn't usually carry a high premium unless it's in exceptional condition or has a rare minting error. However, what really sets certain 1985 pennies apart from the rest are the special varieties and minting errors that can make them highly valuable. So, let's dive into the fascinating world of minting errors. Point 1: of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is discovering error coins, coins that were mistakenly produced during the minting process. These errors are typically rare, and some can dramatically increase the value of a coin. Here are a few of the most common types of minting errors that can make a 1985 penny incredibly valuable. Double die error. A double die error happens when a coin is struck more than once, causing parts of the design to appear doubled. In a 1985 penny, this could mean a doubled date or doubled features on Lincoln's portrait. These types of errors are highly sought after by collectors, and a 1985 penny with a noticeable double die error can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the error. Off-center strikes. An off-center strike occurs when a coin is not perfectly aligned when it's struck by the minting press. This results in the design being shifted to one side of the coin. Off-center errors are always interesting to collectors, as they make the coin look unusual and unique. If you find a 1985 penny with an off-center strike, it could fetch a premium price. Lamination errors. Lamination errors occur when the surface of the coin begins to peel off due to defects in the metal used to strike the coin. These types of errors are considered rare, and collectors often find them fascinating. If your 1985 penny has a lamination error, it could be worth significantly more than a regular penny. Clipped planchet errors. A clipped planchet occurs when a piece of metal is missing from the coin's surface, giving it a bite or missing section. This is another sought-after error that can greatly increase the value of a 1985 penny. Now, let's get to the burning question. How much is the 1985 penny worth? Regular 1985 pennies with no minting errors, and in average circulated condition, are typically worth just 1 cent or slightly more if they are in uncirculated condition. For example, a mint state 1985 penny may fetch anywhere from $1 to $3 at most. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, if you happen to find one of these in excellent condition, can be worth $10 to $20 or more. These are much rarer than the regular circulating pennies and are a collector's favorite. Minting errors like double die, off-center strikes, and lamination errors are where things get exciting. Depending on the severity and visibility of the error, your 1985 penny could be worth anywhere from $50 to several $1,000s. The more pronounced and rare the error, the higher the price tag. And now, the big reveal. If you're lucky enough to own a 1985 penny that's in pristine condition, or better yet, one with a major minting error, you could be holding onto a coin worth a staggering $43,000. Who would have thought that a simple 1985 penny could be worth so much? If you're a coin collector, or even if you just happen to have a bunch of old pennies lying around, now is the time to start checking your 1985 pennies for rare mint marks, special conditions, and, of course, minting errors. Whether it's a proof coin in perfect condition, a double die error, or an off-center strike, there are 1985 pennies out there that are worth a fortune, and you could be holding one without even realizing it. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable finds, and exciting discoveries, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next coin adventure. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Who knows, your next rare coin could be worth $43,000.